there's a little caveat there with how he says it's never too late. That's true. It's never too late. But the more time that you have spent getting into shape, you can fall out of shape, and when you come back to it, it'll be way easier. And I mentioned this before.
That's cool. You can keep telling yourself that.
But I'm telling you, if let's say
you're right. You're right. You want to have a good base. If you have a good base
ideally,
of
yes.
being strong, it's going to be easier for you than somebody that's never worked out before. Yes, that's a given. That being said, if you take a person that's never lifted before, never worked out before, when they start, man, they make all kinds of crazy gains.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But keep in mind, they're still starting at the bottom of the ladder. So yeah, the first 10 steps on the ladder come quickly, but that comes for everybody, give or take.
Yeah.
So, sure, okay. In the small little picture, you can be like, "Hey, that guy, he started on the first 10 steps of the ladder way later in life. So look at his gains way later in life." But meanwhile, you had those first steps done 35 years ago. You're on step, 125 right now.
You are correct. The bottom line is both groups will benefit.
Oh yeah, big
from
time.
Physical activity.
And so the point being, how Andy mentions this, how it's like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, or I'll just do it, the New Year's resolution or whatever. The more time you spend not doing it, the harder it is to get there and stay there.
Yeah.
Because, man, you ever...
Though, I actually have a theory on this too. Like, if you miss a workout, you can never make it up. It's gone. It's gone. You can never make it because you worked out the next day, but no, you missed the day that you that was supposed to be a different workout.
Right.
You got weaker. You can't get it back.
Right.
Now, sometimes you need a break.
Right.
And I think we got some questions about that. Sometimes you definitely need a rest. You push your body so hard. You do so much activity. But you're not going to get that chance to work out again. And you know what? You're not going to get a chance. Anytime you waste any time in your life, guess what? It's gone.
Yeah.
So don't waste it.
Right.
Don't waste it. Don't waste it with sitting listening to radio shows or internet shows or watching TV. That's a waste. Don't waste it with that.
Unless the shows are helping you.
Well, yeah. Yes, if they're helping you, if they're beneficial. If it's Jocko Podcast, man, tune in. But if you're sitting around,
reality
reality TV, just random social media stuff that's not helping you get any better, of course, you're wasting it and you're not going to get it back. Yeah. Sometimes if I miss something or if I am lazy about something, that pisses me off. And at the time I'll say, oh, well, I'll rationalize some excuses around it. Right. And then later I'll say, what is your problem? Why did you do that? And then it's punishment time. then it's let's go get the squat rack. It's time to pay for that.
Yeah, I think, and I'm going to put this real bluntly, almost to the point of ignorance, but I think you value rest way less than a normal person, I think.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Or it could be that you value the work part of it so much that your rest is quantity-wise less, but quality-wise might be more.
Yeah. And also, like, for instance, I don't get the opportunity. I mean, when I travel, for instance, when I travel, I recently, I have not had time to do jiu-jitsu when I'm traveling. So when I'm back here, I got to just get it in, Yeah. And if I miss it when I'm in San Diego, I'm not happy. I'm angry at myself, and I won't even let it happen. I'm just not going to let it happen. Even yesterday, I was all tired and beat up, and I was like, okay, well, go train all tired and beat up because you're going to miss some days this week. Yeah. So you got to just go get it on. Yeah. Work on being weak and lame and getting your game on. And I went and rolled with a bunch of people and did what I normally do. And you know what? By the time you're in the middle of a rolling, it doesn't matter anymore. You're just dealing with the situation.
Yeah. Man, if you can get to that point where, how, and jiu-jitsu is kind of a weird one where it's really good, really, really good exercise, but it's really, really fun to do.
Yes.
So it's like a win-win. You don't so weightlifting, I think, is like that, but it's not like that for everybody. Where True. It's like it's fun to actually do, even though sometimes you gotta build up the kind of the energy or whatever or motivation, whatever, to do it. It's still pretty fun. But for most people, I would argue most people, exercise is like work. It's like a chore. They just want the benefits.
Yeah, and I think the more you do it and the better you get at it, the more fun it is, the more you enjoy it. Yeah. For me, it's a mental break. It's a mental break from everything else. Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go pick up this piece of metal off the ground. Bunch of times.
Yeah, and the point there is if you can get to that state where actually doing the exercise, separate from the results, actually doing it is fun. You can recognize the pleasure in it. That's when you can be on a program. You know how like I just got back from Kauai, little like a vacation, but I still rolled. I still did lifted weights and exercise. Greg Train went so
right.
Before, and I think most people, it's when it's vacation time, they're off the program. And I'm not even saying I'm specifically on a program, but it's just kind of part of the
life program.
On the deal, man. So if you're into it, like I look forward to going training at a new spot. There's a lot of fun to be had there. There's a lot of fun to be having going to train at the normal spot. But if you're in that mindset where you like the exercise that you're doing, right, you'll do it. You go on vacation, you'll do it then. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
So you don't fall off.
Having fun when you train is and enjoying it. I guess having fun, because it's not like when I'm in the middle of a set of clean and jerks, I'm having fun.
See, but that's kind of what I mean though. Where I remember when I used to play football, we'd test in Olympic lifting. So like power clean was one and snatch was one, and I remember training for those things. If you get kind of good at the technique, right, comes fun. You're there with your friends. They're yelling at you and stuff like that. So it's fun.
I guess I was thinking more of like a Metcon scenario where you're wanting to puke.
Okay, good example.
And I'm just being frank with you. I'm not always having fun during those. Sometimes I want to not do it.
Yeah.
And I still do it, but I don't want to because it's not fun.
I would say more times than not, especially any kind of Metcon situation, that's going to be the case. So what my overall point is, if you can get to that point where at the very least you can appreciate this that's happening right now. I find some pleasure in here.
And furthermore, I will tell you this, if you get to know the feeling of how you feel when you complete a hard workout you go, you know what? It's going to be worth it because when I get done with this, I'm going to feel like X.
Right.
I'm going to feel good.
Yeah.
And so that, for me, that's why I think that's kind of why I'm doing hard workouts, because I'm doing hard workouts because I know that at the end of it, I'm going to be like, I'm going to feel good. Yeah. I'm going to feel fired up for the rest of the day. I'm going to feel like I did something. Yep. I'm going to feel like a quality human being, like I didn't waste a little section of my life. Right. I feel good.
Yeah.
So when you know it's the same thing with waking up in the morning. When you sleep in, that feels good at the moment, but then when you wake up, you're like, oh man, I just wasted part of my life. Yep. Whereas when you get up, even though it's hard, when you know how good it feels to be done with your workout, that early in the morning, be like, I'm ready. You bring on the tasks.
Yeah, and the strange thing about workouts is the workout pays you back for your work afterwards. Yes. So it's basically, you work out, and the workout isn't what makes your muscles big. It's the response to the workout. So when you work out, it's kind of like you did your part. Now your body's going to pay you back with your gains,
True.
So you're like, hey, I'm done with the workout. I can go do some other stuff. Meanwhile, I got that check coming, that gains check. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Highly recommend.